Cedar Ragements, episode 2. You ready?
I'm ready. Are you guys ready?
Alrighty.
All right, here we go.
So today's rundown is NASCAR. They just had the second race, I believe, of the round of 16, which is the first round of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. They were at the Worldwide Technology Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Next week they race at Bristol. Actually on Saturday they race at Bristol to cap off the round of 16 for NASCAR, and then they'll head on to their next round of the round of 12. Say you want to take away here on NASCAR, Dad, because I know you can name everything about a car.
Yeah. As Jeremiah just mentioned, this is the second race in the playoffs. So let's just take a quick breakdown of how the playoffs work in NASCAR. NASCAR's playoffs are different than any other playoff in that, let's say for in the NFL or in NBA, for example, you have 8 teams from the East, you have 8 teams from the West, and it goes 8, 4, 2, 1 champion. So once the playoffs begin, if you did not make the playoffs, you were done. You go home. NASCAR's playoffs are not like that. You have 26 races throughout the regular season to get into the playoffs by one of 2 ways. The easiest way to get into the NASCAR playoffs is to win. If you win, you are in. There are 16 spots available for the NASCAR postseason. So the only way a win would not get you in is if there are more than 16 winners, which I think may have happened once in the history of NASCAR. So let's say there are 17 winners. At that point, you would go to points, and there are several other tiebreakers, wins, top 5s, top 10s, all those things. There are different metrics to prove or to show who should get in. However, back to my original point, all 38 to 40 cars are still on the track with the 16 cars or teams that made the postseason. So that's interesting in that NASCAR, nobody goes home and nobody's season is quote unquote over. So yes, you could have a car win a race, you could have a team or a driver win a race who is not in the playoffs. So does that make sense? All right. Does it kind of cover it? I think it's interesting. Again, everybody's on the field together. So yes, a non-playoff driver can cause an issue, be it a wreck or they get in a situation, something in the pits, anything that can actually hurt a playoff driver. So it is interesting, and I love it. I'll let you know I love it. So now once you're in the playoffs, there are essentially 4 rounds. You have the round of 16. There are 3 races in each round, minus the very last race, the race for the championship. So the round of 16, you have 3 races. The round of 12, you have 3 races. The round of 8, 3 races. And then the championship race, this year it's at Phoenix. Next year it transitions back to Homestead Miami Speedway. So after the 3 races are over, so last week, for example, they raced at Darlington in South Carolina. This past weekend, they were at Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis. And this coming Saturday night, they're at Bristol Motor Speedway or Thunder Valley in Bristol, Tennessee. So again, much like the regular season, and I want to take time because a lot of our NASCAR, a lot of our sports fans may not know about NASCAR. So if we're going to talk about this, we want to make sure they're caught up. So forgive the talking head on this side of the screen this week. He'll be talking a lot more when we get to football. So after Bristol, again, much like the playoffs, if you win and you're in the playoffs, you automatically advance to the next round. So you could win the first race, and basically the next 2 are just fun, joy rides. So you win and you advance to the next round. And then after that, it's based on points. So the lowest 4 drivers, as far as points go, they're eliminated. So after Saturday night, it'll go from 16 to 12. After the final race in the round of 12, I don't have it in front of me right now, it'll go from 12 to 8. After Martinsville, in the round of 8, it will go from 8 to 4. And then when they get to Phoenix, that's the championship race. All cars are on the track with the championship 4. And whichever one of those 4 drivers that are racing for the championship, whichever one of them crosses the start-finish line first, that's your champion. And typically, with the exception of, I think last year, Jeremiah, you've had to win that race to be the champion. So, Jeremiah, your favorite driver, Denny Hamlin?
No.
Not really.
He owns my favorite driver, though.
That is something interesting. Denny Hamlin is not only a driver for Joe Gibbs Racing, but he is also a team owner for 2311 with the one, the only, the GOAT, Michael Jordan. So Denny Hamlin drives the number 11 FedEx car, and he won. He won this past weekend at Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis. So that means he's in. He's advanced. What's amazing about Denny is he's 44 years old.
Still chasing that first championship after like 20 years.
He is towards the top of as far as race car drivers who have amount of wins. He has like 58 wins, but no championships.
Has he won every crown jewel too? Daytona, Charlotte, Indianapolis, and
he has won everything you can win except the championship. So that is what eludes him. So he's already through the round of 12 due to his win yesterday. His teammate in the 19, also with Joe Gibbs Racing, Chase Briscoe, he won at Darlington, so he's automatically through. So we already know 2 of the 12 drivers that have automatically advanced by their whim. And it's interesting that 2 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas are already advanced. So Joe Gibbs Racing has swept the playoffs as far as wins so far. So Jerry, anything you want to add while we're talking about Joe Gibbs and their dominance and in the playoffs? We want to make sure we're clear about all of our sports to all of our friends who are listening, and just to make sure that we're educating them as well as giving our opinions.
Yeah, with Joe Gibbs, Christopher Bell is also in the playoffs. The third of 4 Joe Gibbs racers. The fourth did not make it, a Ty Gibbs. Do you think Christopher might be able to make it? I think he's already through with points on making it to the round of 12. But with Christopher, with your 2 of your teammates already advancing, do you just try to wait it out and see if you can go to the round of 12?
Christopher Bell he's 32 points above the cut line. Remember, that cut line separates or delineates the top 12 from the bottom 4. So you want to be above that cut line when the checkered flag is flown at Bristol. And right now, Christopher Bell, who is a teammate of Briscoe and Hamlin and also Ty Gibbs, he is 32 points to the good. That is about as comfortable as you can get. That's essentially 32 positions on the racetrack. So NASCAR races are cut into stages. There's 2 stages and then the race win. And if you finish in the top 10 at a respective stage, you get points. So if you win the stage, you get 10. It goes all the way down to where if you finish in 10th, you get 1 point. So he really just needs one good stage, because 35 to 40 points above the cut, you're automatically advanced, because there's no way point-wise that anybody could get above you. So right now, he is sitting, my phone just reset. He's sitting 32 points to the good. So I think it would just be a disaster. So I think he's through. So yeah, I think Joe Gibbs is not worried. I think they're getting 3 teams in. But talking about teams, to liken NASCAR to other sports, I don't want to say major sports because I think that's a slide on NASCAR, but you have Joe Gibbs Racing and Hendrick Motorsports, who are the Dodgers, and what's the equivalent of the Dodgers? The Yankees. Who are literally the Dodgers and the Yankees. They're the Lakers, they're the Celtics, they're whatever you want to use. They're the big
Steelers,
teams. They're the Patriots
basically
of the mid 2000s. They're the Colts of Peyton. They are the 2 juggernaut teams. Not all teams have 4 drivers. These particular 2 teams do. So Joe Gibbs Racing looking very strong. Not uncommon for them. Hendrick Motorsports, the other juggernaut team of NASCAR. My favorite driver is a Hendrick driver. He drives the number 9 Napa. His name's Chase Elliott. He's run the most popular driver several years running.
Chase was the only Hendrick driver to get a top 10 yesterday. Byron and Larson were 11th and 12th, and then Bowman was all the way down at 26th.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, Jer. Hendrick that's actually an improvement from what they did at Darlington in the first week of the playoffs. Darlington, which is a very unique track, historic track in Darlington, South Carolina, not easy to drive. You have to ride right up against the wall. It destroys tires because of the aggregate. The top, Jeremiah, the top driver for Hendrick at Darlington finished 17th.
Who was that?
It was Chase Elliott. Chase was 17th, Larson 19th, Byron 21st, Bowman 31st. So again, those who may not know, those are the four drivers that make up the whole Hendrick team.
Probably won't be like that next year.
No. So Chase drives the 9, Larson drives the 5, Byron the 24, and Bowman the 48. So they were improved this week. I've heard rumors that basically Rick Hendrick, team owner, pulled everybody in and was basically like, after Darlington, we're the Yankees, we're the Dodgers, we don't do this. So at Worldwide Technology Raceway, Jeremiah, Chase was 3rd. He was a contender all day. Byron was 11th. Larson 12th. Even after some contact with another championship driver named Ryan Blaney, he got loose underneath Blaney and just spun him. So that made for some interesting post-race talk. And I'm trying to see where Bowman finished.
He finished on 26th behind SVG.
Bowman 26. Bowman on pit road. Okay, so pit road where you go get gas, tires. You can make adjustments to your vehicle. These cars in Cup will fill their car up with gas, change 4 tires, make adjustments in about 9 seconds. Bowman last week had a 40-second stop, and this week he had one dangerously close. His pit crew has let him down, to say the least, and that's another thing that makes NASCAR so unique. It is not just cars going around in circles, despite what it looks like. The opposite. This gets me fired up, so help me be calm. But in football, you're watching guys run back and forth on a football field, and basketball back and forth on a basketball court, hockey back and forth on an ice rink. It is way more than just cars going left. There is strategy. There's a lot of things that go into it. We don't have time for it now. But they make all those adjustments on pit road, and a good pit stop's 9 seconds or less. You know, if you get 2 tires, it's even less. If you do gas only, it's even less than that. And you can get caught on pit road, and the caution come out, and all of a sudden your day is done.
You could have the best car and still a bad pit stop could ruin your day.
Yeah, bad pit call, bad pit strategy, bad execution, all of it. It is truly a team sport. So, again, improved, yeah, but probably not where Rick Hendrick and them are used to being. Again, I cannot underscore Rick Hendrick and Hendrick Motorsports. They are the Boston Celtics. They're the LA Dodgers. They are the New York Yankees. They are the Boston Bruins. I mean, they are all of that. So NASCAR rolls into Bristol, Tennessee. Bristol is an amazing track. It's literally in the middle of nowhere in Bristol, Tennessee, which is on the Virginia-Tennessee line. It's a half-mile track. Matter of fact, they just had a baseball game at Bristol Motor Speedway a few years ago. Had a football game where Virginia Tech played Tennessee. It's called the last greatest Coliseum because it literally is in a bowl. A half-mile racetrack in a bowl, and there are seats everywhere. It seats about 160,000. And if you go to a race there, you have to have ear protection because it constantly sounds like an airplane is landing. It is the coolest place on earth. So if you ever get a chance to go to Bristol, do it. This is called the Bristol Night Race. So it means it's under the lights. It's kind of like short track racing, back in racing's roots. Saturday night race, and not only that, it's a cutoff race. Jeremiah, why do cutoff races add more drama to the NASCAR season?
Well, with the cutoff race, they can be the reason your season's done or not. So, like, for example, Alex Bowman, who is below the cutoff line right now, he could be like 30 points below the cutoff line, but if he still wins Bristol, his season stays alive for championship hopes and can still go on into the round of 12s. Just because it's a cutoff race doesn't mean you can just end it. Like sometimes, like for example, an NBA team, they might be down 3-0 in the series, and the fans might give up. But in NASCAR, you can't do that. You can't just give up on your guy at the You can't just give up on your guy right there at the cutoff race because he can still have a great race and win that race and make it and move on.
Yeah, that's a great point. Right now, Josh Berry, who's dead last, who's been wrecked out of the past 2 races, if he wins, he advances, which will take that cutoff line down, right? So a guy who was safe, a team that was safe, now is no longer safe, and that's exciting. You have Bristol Motor Speedway; they'll be clicking off laps every 13 to 15 seconds. You have to stay up front, or you'll get lapped. Pit road is crazy.
Split in 2 pit roads.
So under yellow, you pit one way. Under green flag stops, you pit another. There's pit road speed. It is really easy to lose laps if you get off schedule, if you get caught with the yellow. If you get caught up in somebody else's mess, imagine 35 cars on a half-mile track. And that's where they're going this Saturday. Again, once this race is over, once the Bristol race is over, once the checkered flag flies, 4 drivers are done. And we'll move on to the round of 12. Only 12 will remain. The lowest 4 in points, again, the lowest 4 in points, or who have done one, they'll be done as far as their championship aspirations. But remember, they will still be racing because there's a lot of things to race for in NASCAR. Because unless you're in the championship 4, you can still finish 5th in points, right? And the higher you finish, the more money you get, the more benefits there are, the more notoriety you get. So they're still racing for. There's a lot to race for. Let me put it that way. And you're still racing. You can still win races. You still can manage and salvage a lot with your season. You're just done as far as your championship aspirations go. So right now, the bottom 4 are Austin Dillon, who drives the number 3, that same number 3 that my man right here, that Dale Sr. drove for Richard Childress Racing. Shane Van Gisbergen in the 88 for Trackhouse Racing.
No road course to save him.
No road course to save him. He is a road course savant. He came over from New Zealand, running rally cars and things like that. He's been unstoppable on road courses. Ovals have been a very different story for him. And the first round, guess what? All ovals. So he is.
I think the first road course is in the round of 8, the Roval.
The Roval is the first road course. Maybe is it the only one?
It is the only one. The rest of it's all ovals.
So oval is exactly what you think, and a road course is exactly what you think. Ovals, all left turns. Road courses, right and left. So along with that, the 48 of Alex Bowman from Hendrick Motorsports that we talked about, his playoffs, to say they've gotten off to a bad start would be putting it very, very mildly, because his pit crew has been awful, and that's putting it mildly. And then finally, the 21 of Josh Berry in the very, very famous Wood Brothers Racing, that famous 21 car. Again, he's been wrecked out each of the past 2 weeks. In Darlington, he was wrecked out on lap 1, turn 2. Done. And
was that the one where his tire was out from the bottom of the car?
Yeah. He what it looked like happened, and that's what the guys on the TV broadcast said. It looked like he hit a bump or something, and the car just shot out from underneath him, and he went right into the wall. And it's a miracle that the other drivers could take the evasive maneuvers they could, because he wrecked in front of the field. He was in row 2, so could have been bad. So after Bristol, I think, unfortunately, the bottom 4 are going to remain the bottom 4. I think those 4 teams, those 4 drivers will be the ones who will be eliminated from NASCAR championship contention. Again, remember, they'll still be racing all the way through Phoenix, but they'll be eliminated from NASCAR championship contention as they begin the round of 12 in New Hampshire. So I just think those 4 teams have been the weakest teams out of the 16. And I just think unless, someone throws a Hail Mary or has a miracle, again, anything can happen. That's why they race. And as you mentioned earlier, Jer, one of those bottom 4 guys can hit it and win, and they're going to move somebody else who is above the cut line down. And so I encourage you to if you're not watch racing, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of storylines. There's a lot of things going on. So give it a try. Give it a try. A great resource is Sirius XM Channel 90.
As of right now, if one of those bottom 4 that we named win, Austin Cindric will be pushed out of playoff contention.
Yeah. as of now. And if you watch the race, USA or NBC or whatever it's on, they do a really good job of showing you who's on the bubble, who's in the bottom four. Again, because every position is a point, right? So if you pass a car, you gain a point. So if you pass another playoff contender, you gain a point, and they lose that point. So literally every position on the track matters. And if you get those stage points, if you win a stage, that's 10 additional points. So it's a lot going on, and it's a lot of excitement. And playoffs for NASCAR are here. And they're going to race all the way through mid-November when they crown a champion at Phoenix International Raceway late in November. Thanks for letting me talk about NASCAR, man. That's the one thing I know about, kind of the way you are about everything else. But for me, it's a little bit of NASCAR. So, Jerry, what do you think? Are those the four that are going home, or do you think maybe Bowman jumps up? It's definitely possible.
It is possible, but by how that crew has been thinking, by how his team has really been, and just the driver, I don't think they can move on. SVG can't place top 15 on a road course. I mean, on a oval to save his life. And then Josh Berry. Hopefully, luck can turn around. I think Josh Berry, if he wins it, might be able to sneak in there. But I agree with you. I think the bottom four might be the bottom four we see leave on Saturday.
Yeah, the problem with that is when you talk about who's traditionally very, very strong at Bristol, you don't talk about any of these four guys.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about Denny, probably is the ringer at Bristol. I know he's not
Kyle
in the playoffs,
Larson.
but you think about Kyle Busch, but yeah, Kyle Larson for sure. But I think about Kyle Busch, who's not in the playoffs, but very strong historically at Bristol. You look at Seabell, anybody JGR.
Yeah.
You look at that 19 team, what they've done historically with Martin Truex Jr., James Small, the crew chief. I think it's Toyota that wins the race. Probably Denny. He's just so good there. Austin Dillon said after the race at Worldwide Technology in St. Louis, he said something that scared me. He said, our cars are slow. And that's the last thing you want to hear your driver say.
When you're in the playoffs.
Hey, we're in the playoffs and our car's slow. It won't turn. There's no grip. We're in trouble. So they're essentially kind of waving the unofficial white flag. Lots to talk about. Lots of exciting things. So if you get a chance to turn that race on and know it's more than a race, there's a race within the race.
And then Connor Zilic again dominated the Xfinity race.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you know about the Xfinity right now. That's all you need to know about the Xfinity series right now is Connor Zilic. He's won like every race since August 2nd. Connor Zilic is an up-and-coming driver.
He's only 19.
He's only 19. The way NASCAR works as well, you have the Cup Series, which are like the Major League. Then you have the Xfinity Series, which next year will be the Advanced Auto Series, sponsorship change.
O'Reilly.
Or is it O'Reilly's?
O'Reilly.
Sorry, O'Reilly, excuse me. So next year, instead of Xfinity, it's O'Reilly, sponsorship change. That's kind of like AAA. And then you have Craftsman Truck Series, they're like the AA.
And then you got ARCA.
And you have ARCA, East and West, and some other series that are kind of like the feeder series that would be like the single A, things like that. It's kind of a baseball analogy. So everybody's trying to get to the top, and there's only 35 seats. So next year, Connor Zilic will be in the 99. Daniel Suarez is losing that seat to Connor Zilic. So we'll see what happens to Daniel Suarez. We wish him all the best. He's done a good job in that car. Yeah, he's just dominating the Xfinity. Right now, all you need to know about the Truck Series is Corey Haim.
Yeah.
He is those guys.
I think they both have 9 wins in their respective series.
I think both of them right now can probably just put it on cruise control and race for a championship late in November. But we'll see. That's why they run the races. All right. Anything you got, Jared, before we transition to the NFL?
I do not.
Well, I'm gonna sit back then and hear you talk, because when it comes to the NFL and college football, I defer to you. If you're good, let's talk about the NFL this past weekend. Week 1, right? It's here.
All right.
We're waiting. The NFL is here. Week 1 is come and gone, minus, I guess, Monday Night Football tonight. And they'll put a bow on Week 1. It started last Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll finish tonight.
Okay, so the NFL brought its normal drama. Eagles Cowboys Thursday night, as a lot of people have heard. Jalen Carter and Dak spitting on each other. But Cowboys defense losing Micah was a really big loss, as a lot of people probably expected, with Jalen Hurts and Jalen Hurts and Saquon both having a rushing touchdown. Jalen Hurts with 2, Saquon with 1 rushing touchdown. And then the Chiefs lose to the Chargers in Sao Paulo. I was really glad to see Justin Herbert has been balled out. Travis Kelce tried to kill his own teammate, so now the Chiefs are without 2 starting wide receivers for the next few games. Rashid with that suspension, and then Worthy with that shoulder injury. So I don't see much happening coming out from Kansas City. You're last in your division, but it's only week 1. But you don't have your starting wide receivers. You have an aging tight end and a starting to age quarterback, it seems like. Um, Bengals and Browns was a close one. And then the Colts lose to the Dolphins. So what I said about believing in the Dolphins at last episode, I take all of that back after watching the last game.
Yeah, the Colts beat the Dolphins. Colts win 33-8. Colts win.
So I take everything I said about the Dolphins and believing in them back. Hopefully I don't regret that. But by watching how they play, Tyreek Hill getting frustrated early in the game, Tua still turning the ball over, and Mike McDaniel, I think a coaching change might happen soon in Miami, or they just hit the reset button. They get rid of Tyreek, get rid of Tua, just hit the reset, and then the Colts still had a really impressive game. Good game by Daniel Jones. He'll probably be their starter over Anthony Richardson for the season. The Raiders beat the Patriots. So the Patriots, of course, with Mike Vrabel, as we said, might be a sneaky team. But apparently not. The Raiders still have Brock Bowers. They got Geno. They got Pete Carroll. They got a solid defense. The way ESPN was honestly glazing Genty was a little weird because I kept getting notifications about Genty keeps running.
38 yards, 19 carries, 38 yards, 1 touchdown for Genty.
Yeah, and I was like, Genty must have had a solid game, like maybe 90 yards, 80 yards. But I look at it,
real quick.
38.
Who won in fantasy this
Okay,
week?
that's because none of my team scored over 5 points.
I just want to put that out there for the world. However, I have destroyed you in the regular season the past 5 or 6 years.
I'm clipping this out, maybe.
And cannot beat you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, I digress.
My entire starter, I was better off with my bench. So, yeah, it was bad in fantasy for me this week. I started Jamar Chase. Luckily, I didn't have AJ Brown. But Cardinals beat the Saints. Really, no surprise there. Steelers and Jets with a shootout. Aaron Rodgers with 244 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, how about that? Did you see that coming?
I did not see that coming.
I'm with you.
Really good game, I think, from Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields, the former Ohio State teammates. I think New York might find a future in Justin Fields. A lot of people are starting to write Fields off. I still a little bit believe in him and what he can do, and I think Garrett Wilson might be that receiver that Fields needs. It's Commanders. The Commanders beat the Giants. Surprise, surprise. Daniel Jones not lacking at all in that game with 233 yards, 1 touchdown. Jaguars beat the Panthers. Great game by Travis Etienne Jr. 16 carries, 143 yards. Tedditor McMillan with 68 yards, 5 receptions. And then my Titans lose to the Broncos. Cam Ward's dad seemed to be going through it about our receiving core. Welcome to Tennessee. We cannot catch for our lives. I watched some of the clips, and Calvin Ridley and our entire receiving core could not catch anything. I think, and of course, receiving is a issue for the Titans, but Cam Ward, I think they can all get it back together. The 49ers beat the Seahawks. So JSN went off.
That was a walk-off win with 1:34 to go in the fourth quarter. San Francisco scores a touchdown on Jake Tong's 4-yard pass from Brock Purdy, and then Moody gets the kick. Until like a minute and a half to go, that was 13-10 Seattle at Seattle, where the 12th man can be brutal. So walk-off win, right? Walk-off win.
Christian McCaffrey with 22 carries, 69 yards. Of course, Christian McCaffrey with that Achilles tendonitis is always on the questionable list each and every year. With, of course, that's a scare with your star having tendonitis and his Achilles. That's probably not fun to deal with for Kyle Shanahan. Lions get their tails whooped by the Packers. I saw where Parsons was having himself a field day. But this shows that the coordinators are a big issue for the Lions, as everyone was starting to predict a little bit about
how
that.
about this? 46 rushing yards for the Lions. 4-6.
It's not what you see every day from them. So yeah, I saw a few things where people are starting to doubt Dan Campbell and what he can do without those coordinators that he had before with those new coordinators. So Dan Campbell, hopefully he can get Detroit back on track and what they were doing last year. The Rams beat the Texans. Good game all around for the Rams. Williams, 18 carries, 66 yards and a touchdown. Matthew Stafford, who was being questionable with, I think, back injuries, 245 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Puka Nacua with 10 receptions, 130 yards. And then Sunday Night Football, early AFC Championship and playoff matchup. Not good for John Harbaugh, as you just gave up yet another multi-score lead within like 5 minutes. So good game by the Bills. My uncle, who is gonna probably watch this later on YouTube, loved texting me this morning about how I was doubting the Bills. So yeah, 22 points in the fourth quarter from the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen with 394 yards, 2 touchdowns, but everything else, rushing was led by Derrick Henry with 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then Zay Flowers with 143 yards and a touchdown. I was seeing where I kept getting notifications about how the Bills just kept coming back and more, and then the Ravens, they had like a 99% chance of winning this game.
Yeah, with at the 5 minute mark in the fourth, so 5 to go in the game. Spin has this analytic that talks about 50-50, who has the greatest percentage chance to win the game. Baltimore 98%, Buffalo 2%. At that time, according to ESPN, with 5 minutes to go in the game, Baltimore 40, Buffalo 25.
Yeah, it was really bad. Great game by the Bills. You might do more than I thought you could this year.
They led 34-19, basically coming into the fourth quarter. 34-19.
And the final score was 40-41. And then, of course, I don't know if a lot of people saw, but a fan shoved DeAndre Hopkins in the head and then went to shove on Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson sent him back into the aisle, and that fan has been banned indefinitely from Bills Stadium and NFL stadiums.
Yeah, good. On a side note, what is up with the Karens in the fans right now? You have the lady at the Philadelphia versus Marlins game who basically takes a ball from a kid, home run balls. You've seen it if you've opened your phone. You've seen it. This lady, a ball is hit. Dad runs over, gets it. It's a fair, all first come first serve. If you've been to a Major League Baseball game, you know how this works. He gets the ball. The lady's sitting a couple rows behind. Big deal. But she goes over, throws a fit. Dad gives the woman a ball. We don't know if
they
home
switched
run ball
it up
or
or
not.
not.
But however, give a lot of credit. I know we're talking about NFL, but we're talking about Karens as well.
I like what
folks,
the Marlins and Phillies did there.
The Marlins and the Phillies did it right. The guy for the Phillies that hit the home run gave the kid a signed bat, and the Marlins gave this kid, who's a Phillies fan, all kinds of Marlins swag. Not sure what he's going to do with that.
I wouldn't complain, though.
But hey, it's free swag, free merch, free gear. But kudos to both those organizations for for doing the right things. Fans, if you're gonna go to the game, just keep your hands off people, right? Just watch the game, enjoy it. There's families there. Act like an adult, please. Sorry, but yeah, Karen, stay at home.
All right. Is that everything on the list for the NFL?
Yeah, I have just a couple thoughts. The Eagles survived.
Oh, yeah. Snuck
Survived.
through there.
I don't know if this is true or not. Again, with AI and the internet, we all know what it is. But so again, if it is true, it's hilarious. If it's not true, it's still funny. But there's a quote, and again, I say this very loosely, knowing it's probably not real, but it's a quote from Jerry Jones saying, "I am one star defensive player away from winning that game." So, and that's funny because Parsons is now wearing the green and yellow. So, yeah, that was I didn't see that game being that close, but it was. I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't able to watch it that night, right? So as I'm scrolling through ESPN that night, ready to go to bed, I'm like, holy moly! But we talked about it last week. That was really loud. Sorry. We talked about it last week. You're hanging banners. You're the standard now. You're the Super Bowl
that
game.
hangover you talked about.
You can have that hangover. So we'll see. Chargers did what they needed to do. Probably what they were supposed to do. Probably what they're going to do all year in that division. But if you're a Chiefs fan, you don't panic. I just don't think you panic.
If you're the Broncos and Chargers, it's the year you take as the AFC West being up for grabs.
You've got to take that step forward. We talked about this last week. I think that is a two horse race for sure, and the Broncos are right on the heels of making that a three horse race. I think they did what they're supposed to do. Again, the Lions, like, wow, the Lions, 27-13 at Lambeau. So again, after week one, you don't want to overreact. But wow, give Green Bay all the credit in the world. But man, 27-13.
Looks like that game was at Lambeau, though.
It was at Lambeau. So Detroit is on the road there. Let's see here. Goff throws 31 of 39, 225 through the air, one touchdown, one pick. 88.6, rating. But rushing the ball, again, only 46 yards. Montgomery with 25 yards. These are total.
That was Montgomery coming off an ACL injury from last year.
Jamar Gibbs is now wearing number 0, 19. Williams 3, and Goff -1. Your leading receiver is your tight end, Laporta. With 79 yards. Tesla, congratulations, got him a touchdown.
First career touchdown.
First career touchdown, yeah. And Amon-Ra made sure that he got that ball. So good for them. It's not like Green Bay ran all over the place, 78 yards. Their longest run being a 66-yard touchdown. 66-yarder. Josh Jacobs had the touchdown on the ground for Green Bay. But 78 yards for Green Bay versus 46 for Detroit. No fumbles on either team. Goff did throw it to the other team once. Love, 16 for 22 for 188, 2 touchdowns, no picks, over a 128 passer rating. So, sometimes you get the tail whip. We will see. Again, like you said, brand new coordinators on the road. Not an easy place to play. And we talked about Green Bay's good. They're good. And with Parsons, they got better. And we talked about this last week as one of our potential sleepers, which wasn't that much of a stretch. Green Bay is going to be good. And I think that's officially a 2-horse race. I know we're using a lot of that. I'll find something else there, Eric. Yeah, I think so. Instant classic. What can you say about, you ever watch the game when you're like, it's so sad one of these teams has to lose? But if you give up 22 in the fourth, right? 22 points you only played 15 minutes, and you give up 22 points. Yeah, that could potentially leave a hangover for sure. But I'm still very high on both those teams. My brother is high on Buffalo. Jeremiah and I are clear. We're high on Baltimore. My other takeaway, Jair, is there were some really close games. Eagles by 4, Chargers by 6, Bucks by 3, Bengals by 1 over the Browns. Colts blew out the Dolphins. Raiders by 7 over the Patriots. Cardinals by 7 over the Saints. Steelers by 2 over the Jets. Commanders blew out the Giants. Jaguars by 16 over the Panthers. This one's close. Titans only lose by 8 at Denver. Niners win by 4.
On the Titans one, that one would have been so much, would have been closer if they could kind of catch, really. Like right here, Calvin Ridley had 4 receptions on 8 targets, which was not a great day for him. Tyler Lockett had 1 target. Alec, I'm gonna say this name wrong, but a Manar, another Titans receiver, 7 targets, 2 catches. And then Gunnar Helm with 2 targets, 1 catch. Jacob Conquo with 4 targets, 3 catches. So not a great day catching for the Titans.
Yeah, the old saying is that bad? Well, it's not good. Again, Packers by 14, Rams over the Texans by 5, and Bills over the Ravens by 1. So that's some very, very close games. As we've started the NFL season now, unfortunately, I have to peel off here in about 3 minutes for a Zoom call I have to take.
Alrighty.
So, my question to you is, after week 1, who needs to panic and who needs to just settle in and continue to play? So,
Just
panic
stay
versus
calm.
play.
I would say for the Chiefs, I'm probably panicking a little because I don't have a starting caliber receiver for a few weeks. My really biggest weapon on offense is my 34-year-old tight end. That's something I'd be afraid of. Falcons, I'd take a deep breath, hang in there. Of course, you lost to the team that's really good. Bengals, fix your defense, really. That's the only thing that would be going through my mind is fix that awful defense. If the Browns can put 10 up in a quarter.
Flacco.
Dolphins, I might hit the panic button. I know it's only week 1, but Dolphins, I'd be panicking a little. You lost 33-8 to Daniel Jones. I'd freak out a little bit. Tyreek Hill's getting frustrated by the week. Mike McDaniel is not doing the best coaching, and Tua keeps turning the ball over. So, if I'm Miami, I might be panicking a little. Patriots just sitting there, first game with a new coach. You got a sophomore QB. Raiders, just try to get better each and every week. Really, if I'm the Raiders. Cardinals, hang in there. Jets, hang in there. I'd say Steelers, hang in there. Giants, no one's really expecting much out of you. But maybe just try to move on with Dart. I'd say I'd start Dart over Winston or Wilson there. Commanders, just keep doing your thing. Jags, keep doing your thing. Panthers, hang in there. I had to give Bryce Young a few more weeks because the Jags are expected to be a pretty solid team this year. Titans, work on your receiving core. Just work on catching, really. Broncos, keep doing your thing. Keep getting better. Just hope your team can stay healthy this year. You're a good team. Just hope your team can stay healthy. Hawks, I'd still wait. You got a new quarterback. You're still working on it. Lions, I'm freaking out a little bit because there's no way a team this good should really be 0-1 right now. But hopefully I can fix my coordinators and get more confident with my coordinators moving on with the season. Texans, hang in there. Rams, hang in there. Ravens, John Harbaugh, don't choke is really all I can think of right now. The Bills, keep partying, keep doing your thing in Buffalo, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's working. Back to the Dolphins at Colts. Here's a stat that should further have Miami sleeping, eating, breathing on the panic button. They give up 156 yards on the ground and 262 through the air, as opposed to two picks, only 133 throwing the ball, and 78 on the ground. Yeah,
Good for Miami.
6. And not just short rushes, but 15, 12, 11, 15, just some gashers there by Indianapolis. So it's hard to win when you're giving up that much yardage, especially on the ground. So 33-8, Dolphins are in trouble.
All right, everything.
I think so. We'll be back maybe later tonight. We've got some college football things we want to talk about. I think we'll be back Thursday at the latest.
Mm-hmm.
So just for those of you who are watching, man, we appreciate it. We're just a father and son talking sports. We may say some things you don't agree with. We just ask you to keep it cordial, because at the end of the day, we're all just a bunch of folks who love sports and love Jesus, right?
Yep.
All right. Anything else, Gary? You good?
That's everything. But yeah, expect us to talk about college football either later today or tomorrow. So just be on the lookout for that, and then I'll try to get shorts and videos posted later tonight along with this podcast.
Sounds good. You good, Jerry?
I'm good.
All right. You guys have a great day.